Okay, give it a while, yeah? You need some time to talk to the Facebook.
Yeah.
Hurry. Okay. Okay, just let me do a quick check on my side to make sure that it's officially live. Yeah, because sometimes Zoom find it hard to talk to Facebook. Yes, we are live. Hello, parents. This is Coach John here from Learning Out of the Box, and thanks so much for being here. And today I have a very special guest, and her name is Stella Hoh. Hello, Stella.
Hi everyone.
Hi. Okay, let me just do a brief intro of who Stella is. She's a real wealth creation founder, as well as real estate strategist, investor, and mindset consultant. And today she'll be sharing with us how to manifest success with positive thoughts and action. Okay, Stella. I think the parents may not know about you. Could you share with us some backstory so that we can understand your journey from the past until now, so that we can know why you are doing the good work that you're doing right now?
Okay, maybe allow me to share a bit more about myself.
Yes.
Just in case some of you is wondering why is this person talking about real estate online. But I'm not talking about real estate right now, but more sharing with you guys on manifesting of positivity with intention setting to create success in your life. Let me see whether I can do the interesting. Just now we could when we were doing the sharing. Now
Okay, maybe
I
you
can't
can take
do
some.
the PowerPoint, but never mind. Let's get on with it. I can do without this. And
Okay.
let me share about a bit more about myself.
Yes.
I was actually born in a very simple family. I grew up in a kampong, which is very rare, right, in Singapore. Yeah, in the 70s, I was born in a kampong. Now you know my age. I'm 46.
And we're also young, yeah.
Yeah, and my parents, and they're all staying with the extended family. We all stay in my family stay in one bedroom with the extended family in the kampong, cement flooring. And subsequently, with of course HDB, we move on to HDB flats, into rental flats, and subsequently into HDB. So growing up was very simple. We were in the PAP kindergarten, nothing special. But what shifted me in my life was very important was when I was 15 years old. My father started a stainless steel business when I was in P1. Then I never saw him very much. He works from 8:30 in the morning to about 2:30 a.m. So growing up, I miss my father a lot. Mom was the one teaching us everything else.
Wow.
Badminton, swimming, every single thing. Mom is not really educated. She is only, she knows Chinese only. That's about it. But somehow she played a very big part in my growing up years. But unfortunately, when I was 15 years old, one day my father came home and he was not his usual self. That night, I don't know why I stayed up so late, but somehow I was in the kitchen when he returned home. So he was like breaking down. He was crying.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And he told me about his story because he was betrayed by an extended family member. His business was taken advantage of. So he had a lot of debts because the secondary company, the subsidiary company that he set up for the family, the extended family, they took away his business, but they transferred all the costs to the main company.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was in a terrible state. But from that day onward, somehow it woke me up. At 15 years old, I decided that I want to be a graduate. And I wasn't a very hardworking person from P1 to P6, to be very truthful. I was someone who will sleep through most of the time in after class, not in class. I do my work in class, but I sleep most of the time. In fact, during PSLE, my mom was so worried I'll fail. Yeah, surprisingly, I passed with flying colors.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was due to consistency in
Wonderful.
P6. So I will share that a little bit more about that. But anyway, back to 15 years old. So my father told me that he was crying. We had a very long chat. Then I knew I didn't want to be like him. So I actually Still didn't work very hard, but
Mm-hmm.
relatively harder than usual.
Mm-hmm.
And I end up in university. I got in, but I did not get my choice, my first choice, because I wanted to be a businesswoman from 15 years old onwards.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have a breakthrough for the family.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't end up with the business choice. I end up with real estate. Real estate was the
Wow.
closest. Yeah. So I was searching through all the courses, seeing which is the most closest to business. And I found that, real estate has law, has economics, has marketing, has a lot of stuff that is very close to business. So I took that on. Then I end up in real estate, and I built my wealth over the years through real estate. So now this is a story I frequently tell my children. But yeah, children are children. They always say you repeat the same story all over again. But I guess very much when I move on down in my a little bit more about myself. When I move on down, I became a real estate strategist. Okay, I'm an author, a mother of 3. My children are 17, 15, and 12. P6 this year for the youngest. But somehow, along the journey in my career, I realized that I was missing out in their growing up years. And I felt that I need to do something about it. There was also no fulfillment in my life. I was in real estate doing niche real estate. I do collective sales, en bloc sales. In Singapore, we know that as en bloc sales. I do like business building transaction for office, cinemas, hotels, very niche. But I was investing my time all in work. So I missed their growing up years. And somehow, about maybe 10 years ago, I decided to do my own practice instead. That means I set up my own real estate company. I still run it. I still run it as my main business. But about 3 years ago, I started the personal development journey for myself because I was looking for fulfillment. And I realized that as parents, we trade our time for money, right? To earn that money, but we don't contribute to our children's growing up years if we really lose time. So I learned that a lot, and I thought I need to shift how we manage ourselves. So I changed myself first. I started a journey of changing myself first.
Yeah, so when you talk about and you realize that you may not have spent enough time with your children, so actually what situation did happen to help you have this realization that I need to spend more time with my kids now?
Factually, I was spending most of my time working. Okay. So when my daughter was very young, the only time I spend with her is usually Saturday mornings when she go for Julia Gabriel, when she was in her preschool years. And it is usually only weekend, very short time, because I still have weekend meetings. So Monday to Friday, by the time I returned home, she was already sleeping. But somehow, one of the main thing that made me realize that I missed out is that I found that my son has ADHD when he was P3. A little late to me, but I don't, that time I thought it was a bit late. Now, if I reflect on it, it's better late than never, because we could support him in his growth. And because of him, we also realized that it potentially also run the family in other children. That's when I realized that I missed out in their life. And having time for myself now, and which is why now I choose to dedicate my life to not just real estate, but actually mentoring people out there to realize that they need to make a life for themselves. Life is not just about working or studying. In fact, I encourage my children to go into non-traditional education. Personally, I have been on a personal development journey. I learn things outside school, meaning outside work. For example, even doing this intention setting that I do in my group right now. I created this real wealth creation group on Facebook group. So I run a community of positive people. So we go there and support each other for growth. And it's very important for us to have growth mindset. So I wanted to be the role model for my children. That's the idea of doing all this. So because one of the most important thing I realized in my journey is children learn actually by role model. not what we tell them. The more we tell, the more rebellious they are. So it's actually by role model. So in order to shift my children, I shift myself first. I become their role model. So that's why I started the journey of mentoring and supporting and coaching. So that will actually help adults like ourselves learn to be different. And then why I say about untraditional, education, specialized education is that now my children know that even if they have ADHD, or even if they have so-called whatever labels that is put on them, they are talented in other ways. So this is not the destination. This is only a journey of learning. Eventually, even if they don't end up in the best university whatsoever, they would have resilience in life. That's more important for me. Because I look at the children, the number of suicides happening these days, even adults or children, that is quite scary. So I thought this is more meaningful to embark on. Yeah.
When you say being a good role model for the children, what do you mean exactly? Because I think many of us parents know that we need to set out good examples for our kids. But again, in the business of our life, and sometimes it's so much simpler to tell our kids what to do than being the role model for them so that they can exhibit our behavior.
Yeah. Because children actually, like I said, learn by role model. But the fact is, a lot of behavioral issue actually starts from when they are very young. It's our response and reaction to the children. So for example, my second son, when I haven't learned, go on this journey, right, in the past, we used a cane to control him because he was an extremely active child and we were afraid that he was hyperactive. So in order to control his behavior, we used the cane. But it is only now that in his teenage years, this is just what I also wanted to share with a lot of parents out there. It is only later in life, then you see what's the effect of what will happen in the early years. Early years, you can't tell because from 0 to 12, children naturally listen to the parents. From 13 onwards, teenage years, you will see the real color come out. Because not their fault, is how we actually environment mold them to be. So what is the repercussion is, for example, a child that is constantly in fear. What is the natural instinct to hide away, right? So in their growing up years, these children become very on their own. They're very shut away. They may not even want to answer you. They just keep quiet and be in their own world. So some of us realize our children go into the gaming world because that's the world that they can be themselves. They can be truly the hero in the game, but not a hero outside in the real life. Mother say something, maybe when we're young, we subconsciously say, shut up. Don't talk this way. Boys cannot cry. So boys don't cry for the entire life. So all the emotions are all stuck inside them, never released. So now what I mean by role model is that means I change to remove the imprint of my own childhood. And I relive a different me. I choose positivity in my life. I change the way I behave, respond. So if I cannot respond with a tantrum or a behavior that I cannot manage, I choose a very different way of getting a different result. In the past, I may scream and yell at him or her, but I still do. Sometimes I still lose it. In fact, I still lose it very recently with my daughter because we're human.
Yep.
That's real. That's a real me because I have 46 years of baggage and I have only started to clear for the last 3 years. Yeah. So, but the thing is we consciously become aware, then we shift the response. So positive words instead of negative words like shut up. Maybe you change your phrase differently so that you get a different response. So in NLP, right? I'm also an NLP practitioner, master NLP. If you're not getting the results that you're getting, shift the way you do things. So this is what I mean by being a role model. So they will see, hey, mom is different now. Why is mother? Usually she's the tigress. She will roar at us, but sometimes she keep quiet instead. So children are very smart. They will observe, and then they will shift because we shift. Yeah, so that's what I mean by role model for the child.
And I like the parts when you said that we need to be the role model for our children. And again, the effects of our parenting will be visible when our children are in the teenage years. Yeah. What will you say to parents who tell you that, Stella, well, all these are good advice, but I know my kids best, and I don't think that it will happen to me.
All of us know our kids best.
It's what I say
Yeah.
also to myself.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
actually children these days, what's happening? Yeah, let me just share an example.
Yes, please.
Last year I went to China, and that was a parenting course. So I went with my children. Two of them willingly go, one refused to go last minute. So I didn't force him. I wasted one air ticket to fly there.
Okay.
But for us, we wanted him to have a choice, to realize that he has a choice in life. So when we went there, they show us different groups of children. The younger children, because it happened to be a class that was from 0 to almost 18.
Wow.
Yeah, and a few older children came along, maybe close to 20 years old. And we split into groups of parents and child. And because the children are in a whole day on their own, in their respective group, and the parents are in a separate group, the children can be themselves.
Yep.
Then what the trainer did was he showed us an example. He actually brought children from about 5-6 years old up on stage first, the first group. Wow, they are innocent, they hop around, they scream around, you ask them to perform, they perform. Who want to sing, raise hand, all raise hand. Then they sent another group of primary school children, younger ones. The younger ones maybe P1 to P3 age, right? Still a bit of response, a bit slower, not so responsive, but like the 5 to 6, but still respond, still have teacher ask question, answer. Then it goes up the age from the 10 to 12. They become more reserved. Then when they came to the teenage ones, they rebel. You see them, one cover face, another one face another direction. Some don't go on stage. First day, because a few days, I think 4 days, first day they refused. So you see their response is very different. They want to have their own identity. So the trainer told us, can you see the difference? What have we done as parents to our children? We have killed their creativity. We have killed their innocence. We have killed their childhood. Because we drown them with education, rote learning, piano lesson, swimming lesson, taekwondo, basketball, They don't have time to live their own life, to be children. And they know they need to be behaving in certain ways. Yeah, so that was a big realization for us because we went through several exercises, and subsequently my children actually opened up to us. They break down and cry. They said, finally we heard them. Especially the older ones, first day they shut down. On the fourth day, they open up. They became real children. Like they are still children. We adults are also children inside us somehow, right? Then but you see them closer to maybe the 6 years, not so much, but a little bit of becoming themselves. And they have smiles on their face. Yeah, they know that they a few of them you can see that they cover themselves because they're not confident. But they become confident, they become more positive. So that was a big realization for myself. And I feel that many of us probably were so stuck in our own world because we are busy earning money, supporting our children, our family, that we fail to realize that many things actually has an impact in our life. Yeah. So, and that will actually reflect on the children directly. We are the children's mirror. So if we want to know how we look like in old age, look at our parents. Yeah. And our children will become us. So this is just some sharing on that. So how do we get out of this cycle then? The question is, yeah, Stella, you say you know your children are like that, then mine is not like that because mine is a perfect child now. For example, some children are really good. So I don't see us going there. But the economy has changed. Singapore, the economy has changed. if we are actually behind by 1 to 2 generation for Singaporeans, but we fail to really, this is my own opinion, so you can disagree with me. This is my own personal opinion. We're behind by at least 2 generation because we didn't have, the children did not, our educational system did not chase up with the world. So the world has become digitalized. In fact, I become a digital marketer in the last 1 year, something that I have to learn to get out into the world. I cannot be a normal businesswoman anymore. So, but a lot of education system doesn't go there yet. So meaning when our children are in the 20s, they probably are just a workforce. They have to find a job. But what if economy is bad? Then they end up with no job. You can have the best degree, but you have not enough job around. So it's about changing our own mindset to embrace a digital world, to become more creative. So one of the things that I really support parents and children, in fact my children, is to go out there and see the real world, live the real world. So some of the parents may think that, oh, school holidays, I send them for more tuition. Maybe you want to consider them to do other things like personal development or even learning digital stuff, social media marketing. If your child is talented in social media, like for example, my son is very interested in gaming. So my idea is, in order to take him away from bad habits of gaming, right?
Yeah.
Why not you learn to create games? Then why not you go after your exams, let's go and learn something that is related to, and he's learning animation now. Animation is something that is relevant in the digital world for the 12-year-old. So because I said he has the ADHD, right? So I needed to help him find other talents outside studying so that they have a sense of self-esteem. So as parents, we support. If they are good in education, continue that path, but maybe really help them realize what is their true strength. So that is my thoughts on these, basically.
Yes. And I really like the part that you say about really spending time to look for, to really understand our kids' true strength. And I think it's also about spending time. What will you say to parents who are always saying that they are too busy to spend time with their kids?
If we take away half an hour of our time to be on Facebook, we will have time. So, for example, somehow I changed my habits. If you ask my children used to say, "Mommy is always on the handphone, always on Facebook," in the past. So now, if you want to give time, even dinner time is giving time. So you put away your phone, and during that 1 hour, don't look at your phone. Or when you're reading a bedtime story with a child, put your phone away. Because we have the tendency that, we can still use the phone. Actually, electronic gadget is not so healthy for very young children because the speed is like, the algorithm part, the speed of movement is not at the state of learning. So reading is at the pace of the human eye contact and physical and sensory touch. So as parents, maybe on Saturday morning or Sunday morning, just go to the beach or the park. Children needs to be on actually grass, sand, build their sensory. So one of the important role of fathers is to do outdoor activity with children. And that is their father's time. Fathers build confidence in the child. So if you start observing now, parents are just one challenge out there for you. You start observing your friends or yourself. You observe that those children who are confident, do they have a lot of outdoor activities with their father? Yeah. Mother's role is more of nurturing values, routine. So if you have very young children, I know some of you have very young children, the routine is built 3 to 5 years, early years. Primary school is still important, but it is also a balance of not just study. Routine can be playtime. Yeah, and Saturday morning, we will sure play. Then they remember that is a promise. And that is playtime. So it's just maybe allocating, despite your busyness, allocating a slot for them. not just to yourself. I know we all say, oh, tired, we need to sleep late. Then maybe do evening time, go to the park. But like I said, because I was very busy, I was trading time for money. So I lacked this when I was with my children were very young. Then I faced my own repercussions much later in their teenage years, and I try to make up. And it takes a longer time to make up this imprint, removing those imprint. But since you have young children now, why don't you start with good foundation yourself? If I were given time to turn around, I would restart this all over again. But for me now is I do the best with what I can. It is never late. It's just I need different kind of approach because now they are teenage. They are not like below 12. Mommy say this, they will do. They are always a good boy and good girl. They will follow. But once they hit 13, in fact, from 10 to 11, preteens, you start to see their behavior shift.
Yep.
Because they start to find identity. They want to have their identity. Some will have girlfriend, boyfriend kind of thing. Because hormones start to change in them. Yeah.
Yeah. Could I also take this chance to really share what I've seen in this interview, because I know that your husband is online with us right now, and it's my very first time seeing that such a supportive spouse being online when the wife is doing the interview. Yeah.
My
So
daughter is also online.
really, oh, is it Laura?
Yeah, Laura.
Oh, okay. Hello. Yeah. So and I also saw on your Facebook that you also cook a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of the dishes that you cook, and actually, and also want to hear from you why is it so important for you to be able to cook for the family?
Cooking is my way of showing love to the family, because I find personally for myself it is a therapy. I enjoy cooking and baking, and I enjoy gifting people the food. So I invite friends over, and this is also what I talk about role model. We want whatever role values that we want our children to have, it must reflect on ourselves. So it's my way of showing to them that actually generosity is very important in life. When you're generous with other people, people are generous with you. But don't have the expectation that people must be generous with you. Just be, because that's me. And generosity of love, because cooking is my way of sharing love. I love cooking. I love my family. Family is very important. So I cook a lot and I share whatever recipe. I cook anything actually, whichever any new dishes I try. So during COVID, right, during the CB, I once asked my younger son, do you when we went to phase 1, right, when we start to open up, I start to ask my children, my son, do you want to go out for a meal? Then he said no. Then I thought he was worried about the condition outside. He said no, because we have never repeated a meal throughout CB. So there's no need to look for outside food because we have it at home. So I cook hawker food. So you see Hokkien mee, all those stuff. Yeah, I cook chicken rice. I cook home cooked food. I cook. In fact, if you ask me to cook anything, I'll learn the dish.
Wonderful.
If they ask something, or any of my viewers, right, they watch and they say, oh, they want whatever dish, I will try to cook the next few session. Yeah, so this is my engagement with my community or my friends, because I cannot meet people from the US, but at least I can share my love online. So that was my focus for cooking. Not in a sense that it must achieve whatever results, but more important is my way of showing love. Yeah.
Yes. And yes, now you're sharing that you cook for your Facebook friends as well as your family members. And even for myself, just let me share a bit. I do have date nights with my girls. So I allocate a time, an undisturbed time per week, once per week, to spend time with my girls. So it's like a date. Yeah. So for your family, will you be able to share what are the other family times that you have that you especially allocate just for specific kid?
Actually, I'm not very good at that, truthfully, because I've been very busy on digital. But now we are starting. I go out with my daughter to do hair. She's
Ah,
17.
wow.
That's my only way to engage her at this
Mm,
juncture because, like I said, I needed more time with her because I didn't have that building up. So in order to build the trust in her in me again as a new person and become her friend now is to start from scratch. And like I said, it took me so long, right? Building that trust is not easy because I had always been a mother.
mhm,
And whatever I say is naggy. So to rebuild that, that's being my truthful self. I'm telling you, I'm not perfect mother. I'm also a learning,
Thanks for
it's a learning
sharing.
journey. So only like recently we start a bit of doing hair together, do nails together. Yeah. Then like 2 nights ago, we do face together. Yeah. My friend came over and shared Mary Kay. Then we just do the face together. Yeah. My boys, I have because number 12-year-old is still relatively young.
Mhm,
So they are still in the stage where they're still willing to listen to you. So
mhm,
we do hugs. I do a lot of hugs with him.
mm,
Yeah. We do eating with him. He likes to eat. Number 2, middle child is a bit managing him now because 15 is a bit tricky. I give space.
mhm,
Because I ask a bit more, what? Don't disturb me.
mm,
Yeah. So I give space. So for example, we do give them handphone, but it was only after they reached 13 years old. Then
mm,
they get their mobile phone. But that we had certain restriction initially, but now no restriction.
mm,
Truthfully, because I also realized that if we go with threat, they will learn to use threat
mm,
and they don't like it. Then you have to handle a different repercussion like anger management.
mhm.
So that is one part that is very important. Yeah.
I
That's
would like to hear more from you because I think as parents, sometimes while we know that we need to give our children space or our spouse the space to breathe, yeah, but I know that it's also very hard to know when to give space or how to even identify that the opposite party needs space. So how do you go about doing that in your own family?
how do I go about doing that?
But you sense something because I think for moms, their sensing is really very strong. Yeah. So, or is it you pick up some words or some behaviors from your children that you say, okay,
Usually children is be response.
mm,
Sometimes they will still say nice words, but you know it's not aligned with the body language. So capture from the body language. You know, the face and the words sound is different. Just capture. So we tend to be a bit more sensitive to in that manner. And somehow I can read them fairly well, but sometimes they say I overread them. So if we're not sure, right, just nowadays my approach is one action is no action. No action is an action.
mm,
So if we're not sure, no action.
mm,
Just space out. Not sure where are they in terms of their emotions, right? Space out first. Give space first. Regardless of whether you say when you decide when you give space, you can never decide when to give space.
mm,
So when you realize either there is a very strong response or no response, give space. Just choose to walk away first and then let the thing settle, have a nice meal, then come back to it.
mm,
Or don't even come back to it. Sometimes it's choosing not to even approach it. Because if you actually engage emotion when it's being raised, then you actually will spiral down to a negative reaction eventually.
mm,
So that's why I choose no action as an action most of the time these days, especially teenage children. You don't want to go there. Even from 10 onwards to about 12, sometimes we just have to space out. And because, okay, imagine this is what oh dear, I'm telling my secret out now. My daughter is listening. Okay, sometimes
okay.
they expect you to scream. Say
Mhm,
they do something, an action, or they expect the mother to go either nagging or screaming. But if you choose an approach that is totally different, like keep quiet and walk away, you shock them.
mm,
You actually break and shock them, change the state. Then they're like, huh? Eh? Because it's also negative attention. They want attention, but negatively.
mm,
But you shock them with, then they were like, mommy is like that already. Siao already. No, Kuku, how come never behave like normal behavior? Because they have a pre-assumed behavior as well of you. as parents. So occasionally do this kind of shocking action to break the situation. That's how I feel is quite beneficial. So this is my approach. Yeah. So I wanted to share a bit more on positive affirmation.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So this is about Mahatma Gandhi. You can read the quote, right? He says your beliefs become your thoughts become your words, and your words become your action becomes your habits becomes your value, and your value become your destiny. But I want to actually challenge this with you guys on your thoughts. This is the positive behavior kind of moving downwards to your behavior. But however, many of us, we have belief system or value system that is not serving us from childhood. Then if we continue this behavior, right, our destiny is going down because that certain value or belief system is not positive. So this is why I said I took 2-3 years to walk back my journey, to walk back and find out what are the values and belief system or habits, words that doesn't serve in a family. Then I shift them. But however, because like we are so ingrained with from childhood, right? Because it's our childhood. Then it is about, I actually run this exercise with my coaching group to actually remove imprint from our own childhood as adults. We remove our childhood or younger days or even recent days imprint that didn't serve us so that we become positive. Then we actually, let me share this with you. This is a map of consciousness. This is by David Hopkins. You can read about him. And this is about frequency of emotions. I like to bring this up because I know we all handle different children, different age group. But most of us, if we are given anger, we mirror the anger. Anger is 150 hertz. So how does this work? Handphone. How does handphone work? It's by frequency. We tap, it works. It's all pure frequency. Same for human being. We are all frequencies. Our anger will bounce back anger usually. So that's why they say husband and wife, right? One angry, the other one keep quiet, then things will settle off. But if the other one bounce anger and the behavior mirror all the time, then you end up to divorce. So same thing for children. So, but how do we move up the frequency on a daily basis? This is why I share in the group that we do this thing called intention setting every day in my group. So we actually frame our own self daily, constantly. So if we can do this practice with our children, that will be perfect, because they will say, what kind of nonsense is this? Don't know what. But if they are much younger, we can train them to choose an emotion that they want. So for example, today they have exam. So you can actually help them by saying, okay, let's choose an emotion to be calm today. Very simple emotion. Don't give them complicated emotions. Just very simple. Let's stay calm today. And how do we know we are calm? Okay, we breathe 4 seconds in, 7 seconds out. And anytime we feel like our heart be beating faster, we just go into that state. Then you observe yourself, you become aware of your emotions, then they can deal with exams with calmness. Then, but tell them don't beat yourself up because you have anxiety. At the end of the day, you say, oh, I did very badly. Tell them that it is about being aware first and shifting the state daily so that eventually you become the most calm person on earth. You can deal with any storms. So example, or the child is usually very unhappy. Then you want to choose a frame that is maybe up there on love. Yeah, love is 500 hertz. Joy is higher than love. Some of you will quickly see, how come joy is higher than love? Joy is a representation of unconditional love under this map of consciousness. And unconditional love is bigger than love. Love your family is different from love the world. It's a bit different. So maybe if we think it's very not easy to move them, just maybe move them to courage, 200. So I can actually educate them on this and then teach them to actually do positive affirmation. In fact, I also have another exercise that you can help them. If now exam period, I actually customize this about positive actions and intention for this particular webinar because we have children. Adults and children are the same. We can also use the same thing, but you can help your children. And if you both do it together, it becomes an exercise. It becomes a bonding for the child. So quality time, 5 minutes every morning, 5 minutes at night. Not bad. Even if you're busy, you can do 5 minutes. One parent do. So this thing about tapping, I'm sure some of you know what is tapping, right? There's this training for tapping. It's called emotional freedom tapping. But for me, I am not certified in that, but I learned basic tapping for implementation purpose. It works. Okay, I also teach my coaches that. So tapping actually release emotion for you. So let's say you want to affirm a child who is always very full of anxiety. If you want to go straight into positive affirmation, oh, let's do intention setting, become they will, oh, I cannot, mommy, I cannot. Then everything they panic. Some children are like that because they have insecurity from the past.
Yep.
So maybe as a child, they were ever left alone before and they needed something and the mom wasn't there. Not purposely, but maybe at that moment that emotion hit them, that becomes an imprint that is not easily detectable. Yeah, but it creates the ripple effect later in life. So they tend to be always full of insecurity, or the parents always quarrel in front of the children. That's naturally also creation of insecurity, for example. So we want to remove first, do removal. So this is called tapping. So do we have time to do a simple tapping exercise?
Sure, please go ahead.
Yeah, because I also want to respect your timing. Okay.
Thanks. And I also want to learn because and I got curious when you say what does tapping mean.
Yeah. Okay, tapping actually helps adults and children. So you observe your emotion now. Do you have any emotion right now? Any anxiety, any nervousness, or any because you need to rush your time, or I mean, I'm talking to all parents here. You observe yourself as well. Of course, you are online. That's why I talk to you.
And I got a bit stressed.
Yeah, you are stressed. For example, you observe your stress, right? Which part of the body do you feel the stress is?
I think probably it's a chest area because I think I'm always waiting for my kids to come back home and trying to rush my things.
Okay, we just make an observation. Now it's chest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you notice the tightness.
Yep.
Yeah. How intense is this on the scale of 1 to 10? Just give
probably
a scale.
4.
Yeah, 4. Okay, so
4.
when we do the tapping exercise, after the tapping, we observe how much has it shifted. Yeah. So this is just for knowing. Yeah. So I will do the simple one. There is a longer version that we open our channels tapping on the feet, but it's not convenient for me to show online. But we can skip that. It's good enough. This is good enough for basic. So the first point that we go, I use 3 fingers. Okay. In the middle of your crown, on the top of your head. When babies are born, there's a hollow here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you learn chakra, 7 chakra, the crown, this is the crown area. So 2 hands, tap, tap, tap. So I usually like to do 3 rounds. The first round, I usually say open. So open the channel. The second one is clear away the emotion. So if I have stress, I say clear stress, clear. I have intention to clear stress, I clear. Second, the third round, I decide on a positive affirmation. So what is the opposite of stress in your opinion?
Confidence.
Then we want to actually build confidence by putting the third one as confidence. So yeah. Then okay, let's start. Okay, I just show you the simple step. There's a karate. You see below there's a hand. Okay, some people do this, but I'm doing this karate chop because we hit both hands at the same time. Okay, this is also like an opening channel, opening kind of thing, because we're skipping the feet, right? If not, I start with the feet first, but this is good enough. So I will do open. Sometimes you feel some pain at the hand. Some people will have some pain. Then we go to crown. Open.
Open.
Yeah. Then if we move along the nose, the side of the nose, and we touch the tip of the eyebrow, okay, there's a hollow.
Okay,
that's the third point. So first one I went open, right? So still open. Tap. Gently tap. Don't hit your face, just gently tap. Okay. Open, open, open. Then
Open.
corner of eyes. We move to corner of eyes now. So corner of eyes tap. Just the hollow, so very close to the hollow. So tap. Open, 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 open. Next, move under the eye at the socket, the end of the bottom of the socket. There's a hollow. Okay. So continue. You can say in your heart, open, 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 or very softly. Or if you're helping your child, you can say and just ask them to follow the action. Sometimes they don't understand. So you just help them by saying, but they follow action. Then the next step is one hand under the nose, one hand under the lip.
Okay.
Together. Okay. Open, 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 open. Then we move to collarbone. Yeah. Two sides, just below the collarbone. Open. And the center of the heart, the chest. Open.
So for the chest area, do we use 2 fingers or 3 fingers?
You can just put the 3 fingers together.
3 fingers. Okay.
Somehow it will tap. Mainly in the two fingers on top, but the third finger will hold. Yeah. Then there is actually another step which is at the corner of the shoulder. But if you want to skip it, you can, because sometimes you're in a rush, you can skip. Between the joint, between the hand and the shoulder, there's a gap. If you have time, you can do this. If you're rushing, skip this is fine. Okay. No need to be, don't worry. When you do tapping, you don't even go into anxious. I forget this already, I forget that already. Just move with the flow. Don't panic, especially when you do implementation. Then actually under the breast, okay, under the chest. Men also have breast. so so under. Okay. They actually are different point to deal with different issues, but we do it as a cycle. So you put your whole palm, this in between, under the armpit, okay, just below the hand. You tap.
Yeah.
Just below the hand portion, right? Can you see? Behold,
So tap the
below.
side, is it? Tap the side here, is it?
Yeah, the side, just underneath.
Ah.
Sometimes you have back ache, right? This is the point that the muscle will actually go. Then you feel, oh, ouch, very sore.
Yeah.
Then the other side. And back to karate chop.
Wait, what about this side? Or do we?
Yeah, both sides. Then move to the next side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm so slow.
Don't worry, because it's the first time doing. Then we go back. Okay, this time we go clear, right? Because open already, open channel, now we clear. You can also clear and open. It's not really like, oh, die, if not wrong antidote, that kind of thing. No, don't never stress over all these actions, all these things that you're doing. Just go with the flow. We do a fast one, because I think people are watching. And
sorry, so the first part is open, then now it's clear, is it?
You clear, you can
now
clear.
It's clear.
Yeah, clear. Or you can clear first and open also can. But it is my style is I like to open the channel first.
Yeah.
Then I clear. This is my own style. I think it works better in sequence. Yeah. So this is clear.
Okay.
Clear stress, right? Now we're a bit stressed, right? Online, talking, practicing. under the eye. Actually, many people have knowledge of this, but not all of us practice. Everything that we learn is about implementation. So So the other day, my son couldn't sleep before oral exam. He was like rolling around. Wow. Then I teach him something else. I do something else as well. So I did for him. Then I did this for him within like maybe less than 5 minutes. He slept. Yeah. So collar, shoulder. Breathe 4 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Heart. Under the chest. Under the armpit, one side. Some people can cross their hand and do both at the same time. I cannot. I can't. Some people will cross and do both at the same time. You can if you can. My hand like cannot make it that way. Not long enough. Cannot coordinate correctly. Yeah. But if you want to learn other things deeper, you can join me on my group. It's a free group. Yeah, it's Real Wealth Creation on Facebook. It's a free group. So only those who take it further with me, then I have cost for them. But otherwise, it's a free group. I wanted to help as many people as possible on that group.
Sorry, so now the third round is confidence.
Yeah, confidence. Lock it in.
And as we tap, we just repeat the word confidence.
Yeah, confidence. The body has the ability to, the subconscious is stronger than the conscious. When you already make the intention to go for confidence, the body already start to shift while you're doing all these things. So many of us say, oh, but we never do this. But your body is already notified of your intention. That's why just now we said, the map of consciousness, you decide the intention. And you can do the intention every day. You actually lock into the cells. The body has cell memory. So like same for fats. Some people are always fat because the fats have cell memory as well. So it's all removal all this memory that doesn't serve us. Yeah, see, I didn't go collar, right? Then you say, oh, salah already lah. Actually, it's okay. Don't worry.
Stress must go.
Don't stress yourself with something you're positively affirming. Yeah. Then somebody will criticize, hey, Stella, do everything wrong, not the right direction. What's your motivation at the end of the day is most important. So that's what we are training our children to have the right motivation in life, to be resilient and deal with the flow. That if something doesn't happen the way that you want it to be, change the way we do it and get similar or not another different results. Life still goes on. So we want to train our children to be resilient. That's important for this new generation because it used to be strawberry. Now I don't know what berry. So all these are just anchoring them. If we know Tony Robbins, some of us like to go Tony Robbins, all these speakers, right? They are all anchoring the good mindset, positive mindset. So it's about anchoring. Yeah. And usually we end with a closing. Okay. The closing is you put your hand out. Okay. Let's say left hand over right hand, crossover, lock in, twist it in. It's a form of grounding your energy and slowing down. Then change hand. The other opposite hand, lock in. So you can teach your children to breathe. So let's say today they have exam, you can, before they leave, ask them to do that. But if they're very tired, it actually also calms their nerve down in the night when they sleep. So it has a ability to actually bring down the emotions, the very strong negative emotions. So for adults, we can also do it. Actually, if I do view it from a scientific point of view, the points that we're hitting a lot are acupressure points and your lymph node. So if you feel very congested sometimes, right, even you're feeling a bit unwell, it also does help because many of it are actually lymphatic points. Because I also learn healing, so I know these are lymphatic points as well. And it does clear the fluid, the qi in the system. So how do you feel now?
Now I feel less stressed. Yeah, just you asked me about the number, right? Just now was, I think, 3 or 4. Now it's probably 2 or even 1.
Yeah, there's some, but because online, we are actually rushing also. If you are offline, you do it at your own pace, you have an even better effect. But today, because of this quick sharing, I run it on the faster speed. So with children, you can do a bit slower. Yeah, then maybe it becomes, actually sometimes you don't have time. You don't even have to lock intention. If they're rushing, just ask them to do a few rounds to calm the energy down. Yeah. So this is about tapping so that we shift our our negative emotion upwards by practicing clearing and locking in with intention setting. So this is what I actually share about intention setting. With intention, right intention and correct action to support it, then we can follow through. Then we can actually also guide our children and ourselves, not just children, it's also ourselves. Once we actually understand this concept, right, of having intention and action, we can actually coach them to do outcome process. Even for ourselves, I do my own outcome process. So for example, one of my outcome that I wanted to do, I did last year, sometime in June, was to have a better relationship with my children, to have more family time. So simple outcomes. By when? By December, I must have certain level of activities. I actually listed them to do with them. And that helps me to create a very aware mindfulness of doing it. Yeah. So may I have permission to review my family?
Oh yes, if proceed with it, I
Yeah.
want to know more about that.
Yeah. This is my family.
Wow, one
Yeah.
beautiful family.
Yeah. Last year we went to India. I brought them to India and Nepal because I want them to see poverty. I wanted them to see that there are children less privileged than them. So we went to the monastery and nunnery. And of course, all these India, all these places, they see all the children begging. In fact, end of this year, my daughter wants to do a project, personal project. She wants to raise money out of her own pocket money now, but she wants to come up with a drive to get people to help to donate and then actually support those children with stationery, books and stationery, specifically for learning. She wanted, yeah. So after her exams this year, we plan to do that. Yeah. So this is my family. Of course, the second son is a bit hidden, and this is the youngest.
And
Yeah.
and he's the one who's taking PSLE this year.
This is the one taking PSLE
All the
this year.
best.
We just pray for the best for him. And to us is do his best.
Yes.
It's okay. Yeah, we don't want to so what if, okay, before we end this, because I know a lot of parents are very sick, they should not be labeled by express, normal acad, normal tech at 13 years old.
Yep.
A lot of successful businessmen in the world who are multi-billionaires, million and billionaires, they are not well educated, but they have the survival instinct. So if they are not an academic child, then don't create a life that they suffer and they become like robots and just become a mediocre. Okay, as parents, we can help them decide whether we want them to be mediocre in a workforce, go to work every day, get a salary, live their life like that, trade time for money, or we want to train them to actually find their talent. Maybe it's not school, maybe it's drawing, maybe it's dancing, but they become the top in their field. Then maybe you want to consider that. This is what I mean by our education system is lacking in that. Because even in some of the schools that support visual arts or drawing, academic is still a very strong part. But it doesn't, how can you cope with swimming every day and studying and get top results every day? We only have 24 hours. So we are stressing the children. I mean, that's what I meant, but our system doesn't support. In China, if you're selected to be the swimmer, you swim every day. Of course, they teach you basic education, but that's not the main area that you must score above certain marks. But they actually support you throughout your journey. If you're a singer, I think now they are going to do that as well. Yeah, so this is what I meant by we need to, as parents, we have to have compassion for ourselves and our children so that we can actually support them in values and not see people jumping off the buildings because they didn't do well in O-levels, A-levels or primary school. So I don't want to see that. I think it's very sad if our children go that way.
Yeah.
So we shift ourselves first. So that's why for my child, do his best. Then we will find solutions. We will find some way to create a path for him together and support him in his journey. Yeah.
Wonderful sharing. Yeah.
I have an ebook. If anyone wants a free ebook, they can actually email me to get it. Yeah. you can find my email address on my Facebook. You can find Stella Hoh, you can find the email address, or you can go to Real Wealth Creation. I give the free book out. It's actually about my own journey. Yeah.
Do you want to later you give me the link, then I'll just paste it straight into the Facebook post, so parents after they watch it, they can just click on it.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah. And if they want to join me on intention setting, helping themselves shift first, then they can also join me daily. It's just an exercise. Every morning we decide intention for the day. The reason why I set up the group is many of us say we want to do something. As parents also, we want to do something. But then we get distracted by life. Then we fizzle off. No follow-up. Then we lost that motivation. So by having a group together, that's why I set up the group, is an accountability group. Every day someone posts, you will remind yourself to post. Then we create a new habit of posting positivity and becoming positive ourselves. At the end of the day, like just now we do a scaling, right? You scale yourself. It's not a competition. It's more like shifting our own behaviors every day. If we realize we cannot manage our children, then maybe you want to set an intention there to do something every day for yourself. It's more for taking care of your own emotions. Yeah. Then we become our children's role model because we are positive every day. They also become positive.
Yes, and I really like this because I always tell my friends who always say that they have no time for their kids. Because like for example, all of us do work and we do meet clients, and when we meet clients, we do block out the time for them. Yeah, so I suggest to our parents is block out a time for yourself and make your kid the VIP clients in your world.
Yeah, that's a very good suggestion. Yeah, very nice. VIP client. Get your PA to block your time.
Yes, get a PA to block the time for your kid.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
I think we have come to the end of the sharing, and thanks so much. And I really love what you shared. In fact, I thought I gained so much more in trying to be a better dad for my kids.
Yeah, we're all on the same journey of being a better parent every day.
Yeah, so next time I would love to hear the story from your husband as well.
I'm sure he doesn't mind sharing here as well. You will hear his side of the story.
So maybe next time,
Yeah.
a
True.
time for him. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So right now I think you have shared so many tips and actually all of them I have already taken down in my mind. Yeah. So what will be one best takeaway for the parents if they say, hey, I want to try one today to start shifting. So which one will you recommend?
Intention setting for parents. Yeah, that is very important. Using intention setting in my group, right? I just share testimonial. One of my coachee actually started intention setting. He's from US. He's a real estate broker. On the 6th day, he closed a deal. And the deal was 2.25% commission. And it was 15.5K USD. So he actually shared a testimonial with me that actually is through intention setting, and that shifted him. And he is able to connect with his clients, and therefore he's able to have more success. In fact, now I see less of him. Sometimes he miss class because he's taking on more deals. So financially, it has really helped him. Then yesterday, another of my coachee actually sent me another clips of her testimonial. For her, she realized that her emotion has shifted. She used to be affected by emotions. Then her whole day she was shut down because of her negative emotion. Now she no longer feels that way, and she finds that one of the most important point that she gotten from this intention setting is she became a more gracious person. She wanted to be a better person all this time. She said, she always tell me I want to be a better person, but we can only shape ourselves. Someone else can only give us a guidance. But through this intention setting, she now realized that she's a more gracious person herself. So I'll post all these testimonial. In fact, I'm intending to post in these 2 days. You can watch. This is real life story of just intention setting. So if there's one thing that you want to do for yourself and your children and your family, do intention setting. It makes a real difference in your life. These are only two of the examples that I'm sharing.
Great. So for parents who are still with us right now, Actually, in fact, we do have some parents who are online with us, and one of them is Agnes, and she was saying, "Thank you so much, Miss Stella, for your sharing."
Thank you. I hope you all enjoy the session.
Yes, and I learned so much. Yeah, okay. I still have one last question because, as you know, we serve a Facebook group of parents who teach their children math at home now, or they support them in some ways.
Yep.
For the primary school math. Yeah, and
Yes.
PSLE is only about 1.5 months away,
Mm,
and I would say that most of the P6ers are feeling very stressed out right now.
mm.
Yeah, so if I may invite you, and this is a question that I ask all my guests. Yeah, if I may invite you to walk down the memory lane, yeah, to your younger self, and you meet the 12-year-old Stella. Yeah, and she's so close to you that you can almost touch her, and she's
Uh,
looking at you in the eyes.
yeah.
What will you say to the 12-year-old Stella? Can be anything. Can be anything.
12-year-old Stella.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. What
I
will you
see her
say?
already. Good job. That's all I will say. Even though she was sleeping every day before PSLE. Because you have been consistent. Okay, let me just do this because I really feel it. I'm somebody who does memory lane in my process.
Yes.
I will tell Stella is right now actually in front of me. I will tell her, Stella, you have been very consistent throughout the year. Have faith, just do your best, and good job. Well done. You have been an amazing girl for a 12-year-old. Yeah. This is what I will share with myself at that. Because at 12 years old, I wasn't confident. At 12 years old, I was very obedient because my sister buys stacks of assessment book for me to do. And it's like I do 20 books a day kind of thing, a few pages, but every day I just do. But that's why I can do well, I guess, because during exams, I sleep every day before exams. I just rested. But because consistency helps. So, but at that point, I didn't realize. Now today, I look back, I will tell her she did a good job. It was just not pure luck. It was also the willingness to accept and embrace all the support. So thank you very much, Stella, for doing what you did at 12 years old. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah. So I think what I learned from here is also being consistent throughout the life, and you all set off from the younger days as good habits build up.
Yeah.
Yes.
The survival instinct is the most important for me. Yeah. And consistency in setting out your motivation. The right motivation will support all the challenges in life. I don't like to use failures. So remove a negative connotation words out of the way as much as possible when we can remember. Sometimes I also forget, I also use. But as far as possible, the journey in life, the ups and the adjustments that you need, the challenges, we just take it as a way to grow stronger. So yeah, motivation, true motivation.
Great. Thanks so much, Stella, for your 1 hour of sharing. And again, I want to say again, I learned so much from this. Yeah, in trying to be a better parents for my 3 daughters. Yeah. Okay, so
Thank
so
you.
for parents who are still with us right now, if you want to contact Miss Stella, I will leave her contact link in the Facebook post. Yeah, so go on there later to check it out on what she's doing. If you are keen to know more about her work. All right, so Stella, don't go off first. I will start the Facebook live, and then we'll just do a quick catch up, and
Okay.
then
May I also thank all the parents for watching in, and I really wish for all of us to have a positive motivation for our children. Yeah, and support them in their journey.
yes.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Yes, thanks so much for showing. Thanks to the parents also. Okay, so I'll just start the Facebook Live, my parents. I'll see you around. Later on, we still have one more at 5 p.m. We are with our guest Mei Ling. So see you, take care, bye bye. Enjoy your lunch. Yeah, bye bye.